I think I have to be honest, categorically, I think it proves, especially with this section here, it's not defensive. It's not a marker. The only logical thing it can be is a canal. Otherwise, it's the biggest folly in your life.
Right, hello and welcome back to the next part in this fascinating discussion of canals. Now, water going uphill and all sorts of amazing things, which thanks to Robert Langdon, he has been talking to us. It makes sense, yeah, we see water going uphill all the time and liquids going uphill, whether it be the damp in your buildings or spurting out of a wound or all sorts, or the River Thames. We have to think about this completely differently. So I've just been absolutely fascinated by this. So thank you for coming back once again.
Pleasure.
And this time we look at a particular favourite of ours, I believe. We look at Offa's dike, is that right? You're going to walk us through it.
Well, Ross, I know you with your Welsh ancestry, you can't wait to get hold of and nip the rumours that it was built to keep those heathens away from the English. Because that too is the biggest load of old rubbish going. But let's have a look.
Tell us more. Go on then. Okay, yeah. By the way, just to point out to people, I have got ancestry both sides, and if anything, my ancestry is the borders. With possibly, I keep this quiet, but Broadstock, my name might come from Bradenstoke, which could be a Norman name. We don't mention that too much. So just to show I am interested as a genuine academic pursuit, not for some sort of nationalistic thing.
We see what we can do about that.
Yeah, but I'll walk up Offa's dike. I've got my hiking boots on. My virtual boots are on. My virtual supplies for the journey are here. So let's go a walk up Offa's dike.
You need to put sharing on, otherwise I can't help you.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's immediately showed up. Here we go. What a pro! I thought I was doing so well then.
You was doing so good. I was quite enjoying that introduction. Okay, what you see in front of you. What you see in front of you is scheduled monuments. There's a KML, scheduled monuments for Google Earth.
KML, just to say, that's one of these active things you can use on Google, isn't it? We use them a lot for alignments of stars and all that kind of thing.
You do. It's a wonderful tool for armchair archaeologists like us, or me now, because you can actually get 3D views. Well, I'm going to talk you through it, and you can make your mind up whether this is actually really good for archaeology or not. So what we're going to do is actually zoom in to the start of Offa's dike. And the thing I just want you to notice is that these are the official, not unofficial. There's lots of rubbish on the internet, unfortunately. These are the officially logged sites where we know Offa's dike exists.
If you just said again, I didn't quite understand. What do you mean it's because there's no continuous dike as such, is there, to follow?
There is no continuous dike. As you see, there is no continuous white line here. We've got a white line here. We've got two, which is even more interesting, white lines here.
Right.
And what we're going to do is actually have a look at these white lines. There are hints of Offa's dike elsewhere, but there's huge 50% plus gaps in between, which is for me excellent because it proves my hypothesis.
Yeah,
and archaeologists, because it just shows you it's a lot of old rubbish. Because did they build it or not? Did they build only 50% of it and left the rest? You know, did the Welsh come running through this large gap here because there's no Offa's dike?
Well, no, that would be unfair. You got to go over the rampart. It's the rule. Okay? You're not allowed to go around them. If they build a big, it's only fair if they build a great big rampart, you've got to try and storm up it, all right?
Absolutely. The Welsh are only going to attack here due to the fact they didn't realise that underneath there was a 50-mile gap in the wall, as you do, you know.
That'll be cheating, so we don't know there.
But we won't knock the British, the English too much on this transmission. They just brought a load of dodgy Italian builders across. Anyway,
don't make it Roman, please.
Let's have a look at the start of what supposedly is Offa's dike, and we can now zoom in, which is lovely, into as I say, the map shows you all of the known sites shows you all the. I'll just zoom out so you can get a perspective where we are. This part here.
Yeah, is it? What trying to look at where that is.
There's this large gap between here, which we'll look at, and here. So it's joined. This bit here is missing. Big, huge. 20 odd miles is missing. But let's look at the start, because there's lots of questions about Offa's Dyke, which I think we can answer straight away, and blow the history books completely out of the water. Because this is Offa's Dyke. This is what we know about Offa's Dyke. Now, this is the start of Offa's Dyke. But obviously, you've got the Bristol Channel here.
Or the Severn, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And you go, okay, let's believe that the archaeologists.
Is that the Wye? Which river is this one, do you think?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I just wondering which river we're on here, but you're not sure.
That river there, I don't know. I have to be honest.
Possibly the Wye, I think.
It may be the Wye. Possibly, I don't know.
Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
This is, I'll say, I have never looked at Offa's Dyke until you've asked me this week. So
thank you for doing that.
It's a new piece. It's a new piece of information, but it was so good. It was so good. I'm gonna write a book about it. It's
excellent.
So interesting. So this is Offa's Dyke, and you go, okay. Now there's two stories told in history. One, it is a defensive war against the Welsh, and two, it's a marker to represent land ownership. Okay.
Yep,
There may be a third, but it's even more obscure than those two. So you go, okay.
No, that's the one that the other two I've heard, yes.
Let's go for the defensive, because I think that's the funniest. So we got here, you go, okay. We've got, it's not complete, but we've got this this wall. Then let's call it a wall being built here, and you go, it's fine. Why on earth didn't you just go along?
Yeah,
well, the logic is, you've
got a natural boundary already, haven't you? The river.
Oh yeah. Would you not? You got your forces coming here, and you go, I'll put a big wall along there. Yeah.
Well, you don't even need a wall if you got a river, do you?
Well, I'll put my forces here, and but what you've given, because you've got this, you go, well, by building a wall here, you've allowed these guys to go, I'm going to come across, bring my army across here, march up to here. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. And now I can attack you really easy because you've given me a foothold. If I had to take my forces across this river here, I might have drowned. But now you've given me a nice piece of ground to put my forces on. You go,
good landing point, yeah.
It's you look at Normandy. Did the Germans put the defences 2 miles back from the beach because it was easier to defend? You go, no, I think you've missed the trick here. So you look at it, you go, okay, if this is a defensive wall, it's in the wrong place. It's totally in the wrong place. And so, okay, we'll have a look at this. Let's look at this part here. I love the 3D imagery. This is what you go, oh, got a big dip. Yeah, I know we love the people in the valleys, but you've dug a ditch in a valley. I mean, why would you not go along the top bit here this way? Why would you dig a ditch in a valley? And you go, that's weird. And so hopefully it works on here. The nice thing about this, if you're using Google Earth, you can actually look up what the hell it is. No, you're gonna help me. Here we go. This is.
What do you do? Just right click or something? Then is it?
Yeah, it's right click because it
tells you where it is. Okay, all right.
Historic England's information. It tells you.
You put an overlay on there. Okay, right.
Yeah, and the nice way you can click again.
So that's seen by KLM, isn't it? You put these overlays on top of the maps with whatever. We've done them for mound plotting and things like that. Yeah,
absolutely. And because it's English heritage, they've given you a nice map which you can have a look at, but also give you the information. What the hell?
Yeah, Forest of Dean. Sorry, I think just scroll past the location then.
Yeah, it's very close to Forest of Dean.
Here we go. So Forest of Dean's where my family's from originally.
Ah,
So you're bang on the money here. There we go.
and apparently, King Offa, yeah.
Offa,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we'll come
Yes, it
to
is as you said it. We're not just creating a straw man argument here. This is the
no.
official.
But what's
official
interesting,
line, yeah.
and you should do a mental note of this, is that monument is closed. Offa's dike consists of a bank up to 3.5 meters high, and you go, that's not very high. 3.5 meters, remember you had the shoreline, and this is Offa, this is Saxon. They had bows and arrows. Okay, so you're going to put and there's no, and as you read there, it's you've got a 10-meter wide bank. It's 2 meters high. It's only 0.6 meters high in the north. You look at it. Some parts is only 1.2. The bank is 17. The bank is 17 meters wide. You go,
that is very wide, isn't it?
You go, hang on, why you got a bank 50 meters wide? Are you standing on top of it? Because if you're invading, you've got these guys all standing.
Yeah, so good to know that's over 50 feet, over 50 feet, that is, just so you get an idea of how wide that is.
And you go, that's unbelievably wide. It's not like a road.
Well, I tell you, if you were making defensive emplacement, the only justification for being that wide would be to fill it with water.
Well, yeah.
Even if it was defensive emplacement.
If you put your men at, your men are going to be standing up there, 10 foot above with this 50. There's no palisade there. If it was Roman, you'll have a wooden palisade down there to hide behind. There's no palisade. As you say, from the evidence, no one's found any palisades here. It's just, and you go, why on earth would you put a 50? It doesn't make sense. Now, so is it the other fact? Do you say, okay, perhaps it's a marker? I mean, 50 foot, that's a big marker. Most people will put a fence up, I'll be honest. And
later will do, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and later on, not that many years in the Dark Ages, you had parish boundaries marked up with stones, like the old milestones.
Yeah, that's how you need a complete wall. You just put a few markers. Why go to all that effort?
Well, the effort is that piece of ground you got there, which doesn't make sense, would have took
a huge effort.
1,000 men over nearly a year to build. Why would you do that? You could put a fence up in half the time.
So what you're saying here, then, for people catching this up with us, is that this would have been a canal or a water?
It's a canal. It connects to the water. You follow the contours of the land. You don't go, if it's defensive, you go around there. This would have probably been full of water. You can see it's a dry water. You can see it's a dry water river valley. You would have a river through it. So it would have gone through the river. That would have replenished it anyway. So you've got this dry river valley, which makes sense. Then you got another valley here. See this? There's no wall here at all. It's gone. Now they must have found it because they built houses there. So you imagine when you're building that house, go, do you know what this? Especially when there's a bit up here and a bit there. Why is there a big gap there in the valley? The road I can understand, you've cut through, that's fine. And you go, well, this is a river, it's a dry river. You won't, if this is a canal connecting up rivers and canals, you go down to the river, come out the river.
You've got a pool or something in there anyway, there's no need to, okay.
Absolutely. And so you got that, you got a road there, I can understand you've cut a road through it, that's fine. Then you go back, you're down by a river again. And you go, okay, so is this just connecting two rivers together? And you go, I don't know, let's have a look.
It's possible, isn't it? Yeah.
It's possible. What was interesting, I haven't looked at, is obviously this is it Chepstow? Or can we find out who this is? Oh, we go.
Further north, I think. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're bang on. There you go. Chepstow Castle. Well done.
Which is quite interesting because it lines up with Chepstow Castle. You see this? And you go, that's the interesting aspect. Future archaeologists can, that's why I like Google. You go, God, if I would be digging here, have a see what the hell's going on here, especially if you've got a quarry.
Yeah.
According to history, this is one stake. That's fine. Then it disappears and it reappears here. Here it is. We're up here. And this time it's on the edge of a hill. And you go, oh,
that is weird.
yeah, you go, okay. So
it says there, Offa's dike section. Yeah, it does say it's a section.
Section. There we go. That's just a little bit, and you go, that's interesting. What the hell what's happening there then? And you have a look, and you look at the details, and you go, oh, the bank is 10 to 12 meters wide. So say 6 foot wide, 1.6 meters high. You go,
why make it so wide?
Precisely because if this is a defensive against here, your men won't be on the edge of the cliff here looking down on people where they could actually pick them off quite easily. You're going to be 36 foot behind the bank here. And you go, if I was attacking, you go, well, that's fine. We can't climb the hill at night because these guys are down here.
Block themselves off, yeah.
Yeah, we'll hide in the ditch. Thanks, guys. And in the morning, we just run over the top because there's no palisade. And you all camp 36 foot from the edge of the cliff, not seeing that these people have climbed up the cliff because you're too far away. It's nonsense. I mean, as a defensive feature, it's absolute and complete nonsense. So you've got this partial piece here. Over here, you've got some other things which you've got. Defense. This is always defense. This is Piercewood camps. And you go, well, what the hell was that then? I mean, it's on the line of. To be honest, we don't know. This is all you got. And you go, we have no idea.
The Caddo have protected it. Yeah.
We have no idea because we never dug it up. But it's definitely Iron Age.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know it's Iron Age? You've never dug it up because it's got ramparts.
And you got to put the words Roman conquest of Wales in there. Apart from that. What you find they do with these things like this with Caddo is they get you in a bind, a double bind, because they recognise it as being important. So they schedule it, which means you can't touch it, explore it, look at it, or do anything to it. Then they don't do anything to it either. So it's just going to sit there.
Yeah, it's a nonsense. And you go, that's bad science. It's not archaeology.
And, it's just a guess, and then you're not allowed to explore to change the guess.
And we carried on again. Here we go.
This makes perfect sense here, isn't it? 'Cause you don't want to go all the way down into that where the riverbed currently is.
No,
it's much easier to keep on a level if you are, like you said, carrying the equivalent of barges around the place.
Precisely. And because this, remember, rivers of the past are going to be much, much bigger. 10, 15, 20 times big. That was probably quite a lethal river. If you got a barge and you put that in, it'd probably sink. So you want to put it on something much, much less.
A lot calmer, yeah.
And so, we followed this round. That goes down again. There's another little river down there. See, it goes down that little bend. Goes round this way. On top of here.
Great graphics, yes. So excuse my hate.
The big dip. Again, you'll have a river there in the past. This is here now, but you've got to look, and it's gone down, it's gone through the river, and this is probably why bits are missing.
Yeah, because there's already water there. Yeah, you don't need to build something. Yeah.
No. And you've gone back up again. Here we go, and we go back up again. We're not at the edge of the cliff, so it's not defensive because that's no good. It's in the middle of a field. We're going to defense it's down here.
It's defending the wrong place if you think about it as well, because I mean,
absolutely. And you look at this, and again, this has gone that way, and you go, I'm not going that way. No, we're going to go that way because it's following the contours of what's obviously underneath the ground rather than what's on top. Remember, on top of these hills, you've got, like the rivers, flowing water. You just got to tap into it. So long as you cut into the surface, that's going to flow with water, and you can take your boat. And this is why these mounds are quite interesting. It's 10 foot wide. It's a road. Why is that? Well, you can put your donkeys and mules on it, and you can pull your boat with it. That's the easiest. Yeah. We do that now. It's called a towpath.
That's right, towpath. Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Yeah, and you need a towpath with canal systems. If you don't have a towpath, your canal system won't work because you don't sail down the canal. You in the past. Now we've got engines. Before engines,
yeah. Dragon's easier than rowing.
It was towed by. That's why we got towpaths. So you're now seeing this amazing reconstruction. It's wholly incomplete. So to actually turn around and say this is a defensive feature, it's just pure nonsense. I mean, and what they don't tell you, some of these banks are reversed because they have a ditch on this side normally, and the bank on that side. And they said, oh, it's facing the enemy. It's facing the Welsh.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
you get to further up, actually, the ditch is on this side and the bank's on that side. So
No
it's
way.
facing the English. You got a bit confused on that one.
Yeah.
What do you think the Welsh turned the tide? The Welsh occupied it and turned the tide. We're gonna dig the ditch on the other side. We're gonna get you on that one.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all, does it? If the ditch is on the wrong side in places.
It's absolutely no sense at all. And you
Unless it's a towpath, yeah, it can make sense then, but yes.
And you get to the point and you go, it's gone. It's gone. What happened to it? And you go, oh, well, that's buggered it. So where is Wandsdyke?
Yeah, why attack over that difficult hill with a wall on the top?
You can go that way. Yeah, you go through it. So for my theory, you go, well, where's Wandsdyke? And so I decided to follow the little yellow brick road.
Oh, what's this now? Sorry.
This is the river. See the river at the bottom of the river?
Yep.
Much shallower now compared to where it was initially. So you got to this point. I reckon they follow the river, and the reason I reckon they follow the river, because if I follow this wire, it goes all the way to here, and if I click on this, it tells me
another bit of Offa's Dike.
It's a bit of Offa's Dike, absolutely.
Simmons Yacht. Yeah, we are on the Y. Yeah.
Details. Yep. And somewhere in there, it will tell you.
So can I just going ahead slightly then? So following your idea here about this being canals, which seems very good to me, is that these little sections might possibly be to get around a difficult part of the river, perhaps, or
it's either the river's too,
or something.
Yeah, the river's too big because you've got a barge rather than a ship. Yeah, you got a barge. But these guys are traders, so you got a barge. So you don't want open water because your barge will sink. You don't want big rivers, and you don't want, you're saying that it doesn't flow like a river. You don't want that because you got a barge. What you want is
nice and slow. Yeah.
You can go over hills and valleys because so long as the bottom of the canal is wet and it floats, yeah, your mule could take you up the hill. Yes. As long as there's water running down. And the Vikings used to do this. The Vikings, they reinvented dikes. The Vikings, when they wanted to go over a hill, they used to dig a channel, but they didn't put water in it and drag the boat across. But, these guys were actually more intelligent than the Vikings. They actually knew where the water courses were and they could actually dig. And rather than that sheer pulling, they could actually have water at the bottom of that canal. And so they could do it themselves. Don't need 100 men. You just need a couple of mules to pull your boat over. And the interesting aspects of it, and you say, this water course cuts across. It's that you got a little lagoon here.
Can we just zoom into Simmons Yacht again then, just to wait when you get a chance? Just trying to wonder if we can see a reason why they might have, or maybe they cut off that corner. Perhaps is it that great big loop? Or
they went over. They went over. And,
rather than go all the way around that loop, they've said, okay, we'll just chop over here.
I mean, when you're in a boat, you have to. This may be a village. This may have been a prehistoric village where you stopped overnight to have something to eat. It's. I'd say if you look at it, it's. It's. They call it a fort, but there's no evidence of fortification. What they have got on it is. It does.
The Fort of Simmons Yacht associated with another border defensive monument.
What you've got is that they've cut through that part of to save time over the hill.
Cut up the loop, yeah.
And then at a later date, someone's put some houses on it. As you do, like next to a road. Yeah. So it makes sense.
We could even charge, perhaps, you could charge a toll. You can say, all right, we can go around the river. If you want to use our little cut through, it's going to cost you whatever it costs.
Someone's got to pay for it somehow. That's, at the end of the day, traders will pay good money if they can get to sites where they can sell stuff more in fast.
Or if it knocks a day or two off your journey or something, yeah.
Now, what you got then, it comes back to Wandsdyke. We got Wansdyke, and it got a little
Well,
bit.
this is Wansdyke now, is it?
Sorry,
Offa's Dyke.
Offa's Dyke. Sorry, this is Offa's Dyke.
Yeah, sorry.
A bit more Offa's Dyke there. I'll just click just to show you the Offa's Dyke section number. See, all these little bits, it doesn't make sense unless it's a canal. And then you got the next part, and I've took the
It's brilliant, yeah.
Filling that in as well. Here you go. Hey. I've done the little and
Sorry, what was that last one filled in there? What?
The yellow, this yellow line, as I've zoomed in to show, is a river. All I've done is followed the river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is, and you go, okay, why? You know, they're following the river, which is great. It's the river. See the river.
Well, that makes sense if the river's forming a natural barrier between the countries.
And it can't be defensive, because if you're going to be defensive, you would have been up here in the hill. These are the hills. Yeah, this river is in the valley.
Would a river form a natural defence you could use as a border?
It's very, very narrow, isn't it?
Okay, all right, just.
Which, you know, if I was a captain of an army, I'd be up that hill. I won't be down there. Oh, you know, and you go, okay, and it's huge. I mean, we're talking about.
Well, it's the crossings you defend, wouldn't you? Wherever the crossing points are.
And if we look at the property, we can see how big this is. Measurements. It's 44 miles. This 44. They forgot to build the fence for 44 miles. It's nonsense. So I say, when you start looking at the details of Offa's Dyke, unless it's a canal, it just does not add up. It does not make sense. It can't be. I mean, you could use it, I suppose. You could say that river as a land border, but would you not use a major river rather than I mean, I couldn't even tell you what river that is, could you?
I think it's the Y, wasn't it? It's quite decent.
And who would know? Who would know that is? Oh, that river's owned by the King of England. You know, that's Offa's land. That's Offa's land, but that isn't. And you go, seriously? You know, really? And, you know, are we saying that? You know, that bit of land. That bit of land is Welsh, but that bit of land isn't.
Well, rivers are used, aren't they, as border? I don't think that's totally.
They can be used absolutely borders, but
I don't think it doesn't affect the argument for a canal. By the way, I just think it's
it's just the more logic. What I was trying to say is the more logical explanation here is a canal.
Well, so can we go further up then? Because then it definitely, if you go further north.
Okay, I'll do this one.
Further, yeah.
Number 3, that connects that one up.
Because when you get to these points, the river becomes quite insubstantial, and it wouldn't work at all then as a defence.
Well,
parts of the Y are quite wide. You know, you could make an argument that it's a defence, a natural defence. But up the top here,
I feel
up towards Chester, aren't we? I think the D.
I fill these in because these gaps I feel, because these are rivers. All these are rivers. All the reds, these are rivers.
Right. Okay.
So you got this part, which is the most interesting part of Offa's Dyke. This is Watts Dyke, WAT, and it's almost parallel.
Sorry, WAT.
WAT. I'll show you
What?
What? That's the Hillthorpe. We don't want the Hillthorpe.
Oswald Street. Okay. So you're right on the border now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Watts Dyke.
What? Oh yeah, Watts Dyke. Okay.
Yeah. Which is interesting because it runs parallel to Offa's Dyke, and you go, why on earth?
So you have two parallel dikes. Okay.
Yeah, if you already got one, why would you build another one? You know, if it's defensive or a land border, why you got two? Ooh. The only logic is, especially here, is that it's one's older than the other. That Watts younger. This is older than Watts, and the logic is, in my view, when the groundwater, because remember the groundwater is going to be going down over these things are thousands of years old and were used for thousands of years. Parts of it would dry up, and when parts of it dry up, you've got an option either to try and dig deeper or take a new route. And so I think what you got here is them taking a new route, And an interesting aspect is that you have got other things like the hillfall, which is on the dike, and the dike goes round. See, the dike goes round it. So it's almost like,
sorry, how is it? The dike goes round it. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like that. Like the other one we saw is a landing. It's a place for you to sort of stop, overnight, or maybe these are the trading points. So at the end of the day, if this is a canal, you're going somewhere to do something. These may be trade. Yeah. And this is the thing that we haven't looked into, I think, deep enough. There's one here. There's another one here. There's another one there. See, there's another one there. There's quite a few of these trading points along the route. And what happens? There's another one here. There's another one.
Well, perhaps there could be difficult points where you needed some local muscle to help you, perhaps, or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. But at the
like a store of mules or something, or like staging posts.
If you're going from
stop for the night and get some fresh mules to drag your stuff up and all that kind of thing.
But at the same time, if you're going from place to place, are you just doing sea crossing? Are you gone from the British Channel and you're now coming out through
the D, I think,
the Irish Sea, isn't it? Through this one, and you go, or are your, and which is my view, are your villages actually like motorways now en route? Are these what we've seen here actually where you're actually stopping to trade?
Makes very good sense. Yes.
What's interesting? That's a modern one. That's a modern aqueduct. Would you believe? Doesn't it look very similar? This is a modern.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
19th century aqueduct. You go, blimey, that looks familiar.
Yeah, that's a new one, right? Okay.
So, I mean, that's it really.
Fantastic.
This ends here. This bit here, just to show we talk now, which is, goes that this is apparently Offa's dike as well, and you go, what on earth?
It's on the wrong side of the river now.
It's totally in wrong. There you go. Section of Offa's adjoining to it, so it's the
wrong side of the river.
Yeah, it's a nonsense. They found
another.
Can you
do the blue writing again, please, just on this little bit?
Sorry.
Can you do the blue writing again when it gives the description? Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's it. Just so we know which part we're talking about there. Here we go. Okay. So it's a scheduled monument again, so you can't actually have a look at this. It's a serious offence if you do that.
No one's done.
It doesn't say much about this one at all. This one, there's no
one's done. All I know is a linear.
Can you scroll down a bit just to?
Yeah, that's it.
No, that's it. Is it okay?
That's it. That's it. They're guessing.
Yeah.
They're guessing, and they're guessing wrong. And I'm saying it's a dike.
It's not unusual, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dike, and there's, like I said, there's thousands of these throughout Britain. It's a dike, but it's nothing to do with Offa.
Nothing to do with defence. It's a link-up method.
Yeah, we know Offa finishes here, and it goes back into the river and goes out again. The logical aspect of it. This over there is just they've seen a linear work go. Oh, that's Offa's dike, and you go, you're guessing again. This is what gets with archaeology. It's 9/10. It's just guesswork, and you go, that's not science. Any idiot can have a guess. You got to have something to back it up. Have it something a bit more substantial. There's a ditch and a mound. It's Offa's dike. Really? So that was a quick. And I thought
fantastic, perfect
tour of
Offa's dike.
Offa's dike, and I think I have to be honest, categorically, I think it proves, especially with this section here, it's not defensive. It's not a marker. The only logical thing it can be is a canal. Otherwise, it's the biggest folly in your life. Okay,
so there you go. What do you think of that? What seems more convincing to you as some sort of military thing, hundreds of miles with lots of gaps, or does it seem more like to be a canal linking up the rivers? If you haven't seen part one, please do so, where Robert explains about the canals and how the water seems to go up and down hills. Now it doesn't really, how it all works. It's very clever stuff, very convincing. I'd love to see comments. Please let me know what you think and any more questions for Robert. And I will have an open question session soon. We'll have a chance to put things directly to him because it's a bit mind-blowing, isn't it? Fantastic stuff. So, oh yeah, and also there's one more video coming up from Robert, maybe some more in the future, but related to this one, it's only about a quarter of an hour long, and what that does then is go through some of the limited archaeology that's been done on Offa's dike. It really is limited as well. So take care and peace to everybody, and until the next time, as they say in Welsh, heddwch.